music Welcome to the newest edition of TNInews with your host, JC. Hey everybody, what's up? JC here, and welcome to a Monday edition of the live stream. And we don't have a whole lot of news to go over, a couple of things, but not a lot in the way of news since I last talked to you guys on Friday. So I did get this package this weekend from Big Bad Toy Store. You can see it's a pretty big box. So I thought we would open that up today and take a close look at some of the stuff. A few things I believe should be in there that I've been eagerly anticipating the arrival of. So I thought we might take a closer look at a couple of those things. So I do have the review studio set up here. So if you notice me looking off to this side more, that's because that's where I've got the screen with the your guys' comments and stuff. Even I still have the camera over here. So, but that's again because over here I've got set up for the review studio so that we can, when we open stuff, I can give you a decent look at it. Let's do a quick roll call. Let's see who is in the house today. So Mr. All Mine is in the house. What's up? Henry G. Good to see you. John is in the house. Happy Monday to you. Judge Dreads. So a lot of familiar faces. What's up? Jeremy's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Rashid, good to see you. Toy Farce is in the house. So good to see him as well. Got a pile of loot like that on the way too. The best feeling. Yep. So, yeah, so definitely, it's always cool when you get like a box of new toys. At least for me, it is. So, it was the weekend. I went and saw Alien Romulus, this weekend on Saturday. Aliens is one of those franchises where, like, the first two movies to me are great. I saw the first movie when I was 7 years old. My mom took me to see it when it first came out in the theaters. She was a big sci-fi fan. Probably not the best movie to take a 7-year-old to, but probably gave me a few nightmares. But it didn't diminish my love for things like that as time went on. And then when the second movie came out, Aliens, again, she took me to the theater to see that. That one I was 14, so that one wasn't as big a deal. But and I think the second one is better than the first one. I mean, the first one, for those back then who saw it for the first time in the theater, this well predates obviously the internet, social media, just that whole scene with the chest buster. I mean, that just like freaked everybody out. And that, that's really, I think, the thing that made that movie stand out so much was that particular scene. And then obviously just the alien designs themselves and stuff. But the second movie I felt like really flushed the whole story out much better. And you had more character development, things like that. So I feel like the second one was actually the better of the two. Everything since Alien, the second Alien movie, I have not been a fan of. Like Aliens 3, I didn't like very much, in part because it was just kind of a shitty way to end things after everything that the characters had gone through in the second movie. And then to just have them crash land on a planet and, Newt and the Marine, the corporal were killed and at the end of the movie, Sigourney Weaver's character's killed, and it wasn't necessarily like a bad movie per se. And I guess you could even say it was kind of a unique way to conclude that trilogy of movies, even though I don't think, like, when they started the first Alien movie, I'm not sure they ever envisioned doing more movies. Because a lot of the story as you watch these movies definitely feels like they're kind of making it up as they go. So I don't think they ever had truly like a well laid out plan for it. But like, for instance, like one of the things I was always very disappointed in with the first movie is that we never really got any details on where that alien ship that the Nostradamus crew discover on the deserted planet, where who were those big giant aliens that were transporting the eggs, who were they, you know and we just never really got any. It's like they didn't even care. It was like, oh, there's this big giant alien ship, but we've got these little alien creatures. That's all we're going to focus on. Like maybe you would want to check their computer databases to see if they had any information, anything like that, and they just kind of totally ignored the alien, the whatever the not the xenomorphs, but the aliens that were transporting the xenomorphs. We never just ever got any details on that. So I was always disappointed that we none of the movies never ever really went back and touched on that. And then like even with Prometheus, I thought that's maybe where they were going to really go with that. But then all that got confusing because at first Prometheus was supposed to be a prequel to Alien, and then it wasn't. It was just in the same universe. And then they did another movie, and then all of a sudden it was back to being like a prequel. I mean, it was just that was all a big mess to me. And then after going to see Romulus, I actually went back and I rewatched Aliens again, and Aliens also just the story was so good. But I'm amazed at how well like the special effects hold up even today. Like when you compare Alien Romulus to Aliens, there are a few scenes in Aliens, like when the ship is first flying down to the planet where it looks kind of fake. But just like the alien like creatures themselves and the way they moved and all that, I think is very comparable to Romulus. And I liked Romulus. I didn't think it was better than the first two by any means, and there's definitely I felt like there were some flaws in the story, but it was probably the closest thing that we've gotten to those first two movies, um, since 1986. So I definitely would say Romulus is I would rank it as the third best Alien movie, but again, for me, the bar is not once you get past the first two Alien movies, the bar is not super high on that. So, but I went back and I watched after watching Romulus. I went back and because all the movies are like available on Hulu right now, all the Alien movies. So I went back and watched. Me and my wife watched Aliens because she had actually never seen Aliens before. We saw the Prometheus movies in the theater, and I think she's seen the first Alien movie, but she hadn't seen Alien, so we watched that, and she thought Aliens was better than Romulus too. Um, but I went back then the next day and I watched parts of Alien 3 because I had kind of forgotten a lot about what had happened in Alien 3. So I rewatched not the entire movie, but like, the good parts. And then I had actually never seen Alien Resurrection. I don't know how I missed that movie, which came out in 97. So I think it was 97 that one came out. Or maybe it was Alien 3 that came out in 97. I don't know. But I had never seen Alien Resurrection with Winona Ryder. And they brought back, Ripley Sigourney Weaver, which was a clone. And like the movie takes place 200 years after Alien 3. So I had never actually seen that movie before. So I watched that yesterday. And it was kind of interesting. Definitely, budget wise, you could tell like they were dealing probably with a smaller budget and such. But I thought it was actually kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting, like comparing the ending of that movie with Romulus. I felt like there was some similarity. And I'm not going to go into Romulus spoilers, so I won't give you specifics. But I thought like there was some similarities there. So, but yeah, like I said, I don't know how I ever missed Alien Resurrection because I was like, man, I don't think I've ever seen this movie before. I did not go back and watch like the Prometheus movies or Alien versus Predator. I feel like though those really muddle up things, especially Alien versus Predator, which I think most people don't really consider canon for the Alien movies. So I don't know, but I will tell you like a couple of things that stood one thing that stood out to me, and this isn't really super spoiler for Romulus because the premise of Romulus is it takes place between the first and the second Alien movie, and if you've forgotten, there's actually a 50-year gap between the first Alien movie and the second Alien movie because Ripley's ship gets lost and like she doesn't get discovered until like 50 years after the events of the first Alien movie. So this Romulus movie takes place sometime between that, and it's a space station where they find the alien that Ripley blasted off, big chap that she blasted off at the end of the first movie. They find that alien floating in space, and basically the company, um, which later we learn is named Whale. In Romulus, they clearly call the company Whalen, but in the original movies, it was always referred to just as the company until I think Alien 3 was the first time we had gotten a name for the company. But they find the alien and they study it and they take it to the space station, and then this group of people come on board. Um, but what was weird, the major plot holes, and this actually goes for the first and the second movie as well as Romulus, is in the first Alien movie, the android Ash we see was sent orders by the company to retrieve one of the life forms and bring it back at all costs. Meaning somehow the company was aware of the alien before the crew became aware of it, and basically gave orders to Ash to bring it back, and the crew was basically dispensable. Um, so it was never clear at what point did the company learn of the alien, and how did they get the orders to Ash to retrieve it, whatever. And I have some, always had some theories about that, but what didn't make sense, and this is compounded again in Romulus, because in Romulus, you know, they let us know that the company was aware of pretty much everything that happened in the first Alien movie, including Ripley blowing the alien out of the hatch. So they, I mean, had even that detail, which means they had to have known about the ship with all the aliens on it. So my question about Romulus is, why would you go hunting for one alien that's floating around in space? Why wouldn't you just go to the source, to the planet where all the aliens are? And then again, in the Aliens movie, it's compound. They once again kind of run into this plot hole where in Aliens, the company acts like they had no knowledge of what happened in the first movie. Ripley tells them everything that happens. The company then tells Ripley that there's a colony that's been on that planet for 20 years, a terraforming colony, and there's never been a problem. And then later in the Aliens movie, we learn that Burke, who's the company man, uh, basically, once he heard Ripley's story, contacted the colony and said, hey, go look for the ship, which they obviously did. They then awakened the aliens at that point, and that's when they lost contact with the colony and then had to send in the Marines. But again, if the company back in the first Alien movie knew about the ship to begin with, why would they have let a terraforming colony set up there to begin with? Why wouldn't they have just gone to the planet, quarantined the planet, and then gotten all the specimens that they needed to, do whatever it is that they wanted to do? So I feel like that's kind of like a big plot hole, that stems, even back between the first two movies, and then kind of was compounded again in the Romulus movie. But other than that, I thought they did a decent job in Romulus. The look and feel of Romulus is, perfection as far as like capturing the look and feel from the first two movies. So that I think they did, a fantastic job with. And they left it open at the end where obviously if they want to do more movies with these new characters, that they could find a way to do that. So sorry, getting way off, I know. This isn't a movie review channel, I know, but I just found myself after I went and saw Romulus on Saturday. I just like ended up like spending a lot of yesterday just watching alien movies and like reminding myself of everything. A receipt, yeah. Resurrection was the one with Ron Perlman, yes. Uh, Ron Perlman and Winona Ryder and a few other people that you probably recognize from other things. All right, well, before we open up my box, let us jump into a few bits of news I have for you guys today. So, first of all, for those of you following the HasLab Cobra Rattler, Stretch Goal 2, just a few minutes before going live, was unlocked. So now, if you're backing that campaign, you will get the Cobra Rattler Gunner. We are now over 14,000 backers. We need another probably a little less than 4,000 till we get to the Baroness pilot. So we are at specifically 14,015 backers. So 18,000 backers is what we need for Baroness, the third stretch goal. We still have over 21 days. So I think that's definitely doable. But the Gunner, along with Wild Weasel, and then of course those very cool Cobra patches, will be included with the Rattler no matter what, if you decide to back it. So again, that literally just happened a few minutes before going live. For you Sesame Street reaction fans, we finally have images. We'd seen listings for these, but now have images for the next wave from Super 7. So Mr. Hooper, the original convenience store owner, who actually passed away while being on the series. Like, he didn't die in an episode. Well, the actor died, and then they did an episode about him passing away. But, longtime Sesame Street fans remember Mr. Hooper. Big Bird, who doesn't really look well scaled with the other figures. It looks like maybe he's a little taller, but not drastically. So Big Bird is not really in scale with the other figures, but you do get him. Super Grover, which is always a favorite of mine. And then Sherlock Hemlock is the fourth figure in this wave. So again, these are available. Super 7 store, I think, actually has them in stock. And then you can pre-order them. Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and they're supposed to start shipping out this month. So I will be getting these for my wife because I've gotten her the first two waves and she really likes them because she's a huge Sesame Street fan. So I will be getting these for her. And of course, they're $20 each, like all the reaction stuff. From McFarlane, we've got a new Frostbite figure or translucent figure with this Deathstroke figure from DC Rebirth. This is a GameStop exclusive, went up today if you want to get it, if you're into those translucent type figures. Again, this one is being offered as a GameStop exclusive. And it's $29.99. All right, this is a good one. So DCAC found this figure. He's got a review of it. It is a platinum figure of a platinum figure of the 6-inch DC Direct Batman Beyond. So the regular version was a reissue from that 2-pack back in the day. Just like the Bruce Wayne figure that they offered this year as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That was the second figure in the original 2-pack. So there's a platinum edition of the Batman Beyond figure that's all black, just like the original DC Direct figure, which so far I've only seen reports of it showing up at Walmart. It's, There's not a regular version of Batman Beyond, 6-inch Batman Beyond. There's just the platinum version. But now we have a platinum of the platinum that has shown up, and this has the blue. I can't tell if that's some translucent colors or it's just blue. I think it's just blue. I haven't watched the review of it, so I'm not sure. But the main thing about this one is you might notice there up in the corner is an unmasked Terry McGinnis head, which we did not get with the original figure. So first time we're getting an unmasked head for Batman Beyond. So, and I don't know exactly how this figure is going to be released. Again, it's a gold label as well, which means it's going to be some type of store exclusive. Um, Maybe Target, I don't know, but it's a platinum figure, but it's also a gold label figure. So there you go. And remember, there's also supposed to be a Batman Beyond Batmobile coming from McFarlane Toys, which we have not yet seen. And I'm assuming it's going to be for the 6-inch figures because, of course, Todd has done a 7-inch scale DC Multiverse Batman Beyond figure before, but those, that's not really the same style as these DC Direct ones, which are more in the Batman animated series style figures that DC directed back in the day. So I don't know if the Batmobile will be technically for DC Multiverse or if it will be for the DC Direct stuff. But it's possible I could conceivably see them including a Batman Beyond, maybe with an unmasked Terry McGinnis head with that as well. So I don't know how easily this thing will be defined. Uh, that's really kind of it since Friday. Not a whole lot. Just a reminder, once again, we got a new image for the Punisher Bushwhacker 2-pack. This is this week's Marvel Legend pre-order. Dane Yun released this image today. We'd seen this at San Diego Comic-Con. So the pre-order for this is this coming Thursday, the 22nd, 1 p.m. Amazon and fan channel retailers, so Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and of course this will be going up at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And probably I'm guessing it's going to cost $50. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Actually, there was one bit of Transformer news I was gonna share. So, images have been surfacing for a couple of weeks now for this Leo Convoy figure, and I believe this will be going up for pre-order tomorrow, and will be available at places like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. Entertainment Earth has a pre-order listing that looks like it's going to be for this figure on their drop zone page. So if you're into Transformers and you've been eyeing this Leo Convoy figure that, like I say, images have kind of been out there floating around for a couple of weeks now, I believe that will be going up for pre-order tomorrow. All right, let me just catch up. As I was rambling, I wasn't seeing your guys' comments, so let me just see what you guys are saying out there. Andrew, did I get the popcorn bucket? I did not. For Aliens, no, I did not get the popcorn. I missed the Deadpool popcorn bucket, and I missed the Aliens one. Seems like the theaters don't really stock those very well. I know you can like order them online, but I haven't tried. Eric says, if I can get his comment to pop up. Radler is so tempting, but just can't afford all these big crowdfund projects. Tough decision this year into 2020. Yeah, I hear you. Rattler's a must for me, but I definitely hear you about having to be choosier and choosier with all these expensive big items. Of course, tomorrow we've got the Todd McFarlane Medieval Spawn Kickstarter is finally going to be launching. We still don't have price or what the minimum funding goal is going to be, so that's really the only details that have yet to be revealed. I'm sure we will get those details tomorrow when the campaign launches. But again, for those of you into Spawn, the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter is kicking off tomorrow. My view, the company Wayland, talking about aliens, where he says, is that they lie as a matter of course, and that they are probably competing factions often. Well, I do like if you wanted some explanation. So, like my explanation around like how Ash in the first movie got the details. So, and I'm ignoring anything that was established in Aliens versus Predator, because if you go to those movies, then in those movies we learn that Wayland becomes aware of the xenomorphs because they're on Earth with the Predator, and I don't really consider that canon. So I'm not using that. Um, but I think you're right. Wayland is this huge conglomerate corporation where they probably keep things off the books. And one of the things that's never been really fleshed out, at least in the movies. Now I have not read all the various comics and everything, but in the movies, it's never been very fleshed out about like what kind of governmental system is in place. We know there's Earth, but obviously there's space travel and there's life on other planets, though we've other than the xenomorphs and the dead aliens that we saw in the spacecraft in the first Alien movie, I don't think we've ever seen any other alien life forms anywhere in the alien universe. So I don't know how widely there's extraterrestrial life. Is it like Star Trek where there's like a federation, or is it everything stemmed from Earth and it's run by an Earth-led government? I don't know. So, but it's quite possible that Wayland didn't want the government to know about these alien creatures because and so they were trying to keep everything very hush and very quiet. So that would explain maybe why they didn't send a big expedition to the planet with the ship. um, because if they did, then the government would become aware of it or something like that. I don't know. I mean, you could come up with explanations like that. It's just they've never really done that in the movies very much, so it's hard to say. But I feel like in the first movie, you could just say Ash woke up as an android, and we don't. One of the other things, kind of, it was a mystery in the first Alien movie was that Ash was an android, but nobody on the crew knew he was an android until the events of the movie. So why was there this secret android on board the ship to begin with? Though I think you could argue with that. You could say, well, back then androids were just starting to be used. They weren't well trusted by human beings. The company wanted the androids on board their ships, and so they were sneaking them on board. Another thing we never really knew is what was Sigourney Weaver's crew doing before where were they coming? They were obviously going home from Earth, but what was their mission when they were coming back? And so those are things that we've never really known. But I feel like you could say Ash was just on there because the company wanted to have the android on their ships, but they didn't want to let the humans know because nobody trusted the androids. And the company also just wanted a way to control their ships, get more control over their ships. And I feel like the android could have been awake at various times in the trip while the other crew was not, could have learned about the distress call, probably even knew it was a warning call, not a distress call, and then let the company know about it. They could have sent a more detailed probe, maybe, I don't know. But you like I say, if you really wanted to explain in more detail some of that stuff, you probably could find a way to do it. Um, and being a big giant corporation that obviously didn't really give a crap about anything other than their own profits, um, you could easily come up with something like, the left hand really didn't know what the right hand was doing, or things like that. Judge Shred says, in general, I'm tired of pre-orders. All right, I didn't see. I see you were having an issue with something. Davey wants multiple rattlers, but I really only got space for one. Yeah, one is my max. Unfortunately, they never seem to make sufficient stock available for. I think you were talking about Amazon. I saw Judge Dreads. I think Alien versus Predator was a fun movie. If you want my honest opinion, I thought the comics were better. Like my first Alien versus Predator was the Dark Horse comics when they first did that. I have those issues still, and I thought it was much better done in the comic books than what they gave us in the movie. I mean, in of themselves, they're okay, but trying to fit them into either Predator or Alien canon, I just think is not a good. They didn't do a good job in regards to that. Which fake company is more evil, Wayland or Umbrella Corp? I'm not sure. Or what about like Vought? I mean, Vought's probably more evil than all of them. Though it is funny going back to Alien Resurrection. I guess Wayland, by the time, again, Alien Resurrection was 200 years after Alien 3. And so I guess Wayland was no longer in existence by the time Alien Resurrection came around. It was now the military was conducting experiments on the alien creatures. MCR. None of the Alien versus Predators were excellent movies, but they were all fun. I mean, Predator is like Alien. Like I love the first Predator movie. Like I can watch that movie over and over again. Predator 2 is okay, not nearly as good as the first one, but I can, it's not a horrible movie. But then everything Predator wise after that, I've just not been. It's either just kind of reproducing what's already been done, or it just wasn't well. I didn't think it was that great. So, um, of course, the first Predator movie was obviously created to be just an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie, and it was so popular. And it amazes me, and I don't know if there's anything out there on the net that explains why they didn't bring Arnold Schwarzenegger back for the second Predator movie. But I always thought that was a real missed opportunity. All right, well, let us get to the box. So again, this is like one of the bigger boxes I've gotten in a while. But that's because there is some big stuff. I forgot to grab scissors. So there are some bigger type items in this box, I believe. All right, so we'll start with the smaller items and work our way up. So a couple of new Marvel Legends, well, new for me. The new 85th anniversary Astonishing X-Men Wolverine. I decided to get that one. I also went on and got the 85th anniversary Superior Spider-Man figure. I'm not going to open these today, but I ended up getting a new Tim Drake Robin figure from McFarlane Toys. So I like the soft goods cape on this one, and I like this. This isn't our first Tim Drake Robin that we've gotten in the line, but I actually like the look for this one, so I decided to pick that one up. I also got the Bane versus Batman Nightfall 2-pack. So I mostly got it for Bane. So this is one that I have definitely been eagerly anticipating. So I'm going to open this one up here in a minute. But it is the new 85th anniversary Danny Ketch Ghost Rider and motorcycle. So my favorite version of Ghost Rider. And we haven't really gotten this version or the bike since Toy Biz days. And then this one is the biggest. It is the G.I. Joe classified Cobra Stinger Jeep. So this is another one. I always like out of all the Jeeps, the Stinger was my favorite. So I definitely, when they announced this one, I knew I had to get it. So I am still curious if we're going to see either a Vamp Mark II or a Tiger Force version of the Vamp Jeep. So, and I'm going to open the Vamp 2 here. So one thing I hate about the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and bike that Hasbro did is that the flame effects fall off the bike so easily. It's annoying. So I'm hoping they found a way to make these fire effects stay attached to the bike better. All right, so I'm going to flip over. All right, so get my camera. I'm going to flip over. All right. So wheels seem to move pretty good. So the fire effects on this one basically act as the kickstand. I don't see an actual kickstand on this one. We got the face plate. Which looks like just slides down. So I think somebody mentioned this before. I do wish these had some type of white plastic in them, because the clear on the eyes does look a little bit off. if I remember in the comics, the eyes on the bike were white. I guess this is maybe like, yeah, okay. So those are like the foot pedals, and then the steering. I was gonna try and dig out my old Toy Biz one, but I didn't get a chance to. It's in a bin. So of course you have the gas cap, which he would touch to convert from human form to Ghost Rider. You get this extra flame piece. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I see. So if you want to, I don't know. If you wanted to do wheelies, but I'm not sure what that's for, unless no. Well, I guess you could do it like that. Yeah, I guess that's how they have it. And then we have our Ghost Rider. Nice detailing on the skull. I like the extra paint applications. It's got an articulated mouth, so that's a nice extra touch. You can see the eye pupils. I don't know how well. He's got eye pupils in there. He's got the chain to go around his chest, and then they give you a separate chain with the flames on it. So I like that. Spikes. So let's see how well. I do like how they've done the flame effects on this one. So, I mean, they basically act as the kickstand, but you don't have to worry about them falling off. So, I like, again, on the Johnny Blaze one, those flame effects look cool, but they just fall off so easy on the bike. I'm not going to take off to be accurate, you'd probably take the chain off his chest when he's holding the one in his hand, but I'm not going to take it off. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It is a static, like it doesn't wheels don't turn or anything. So the bike itself is just a solid piece. I mean, the wheels roll, but overall, I'd say they did a pretty nice job with this one. So, like I say, if I had any minor complaint, if they just put some white plastic pieces, which you could probably do yourself pretty easily for the eyes. I feel like that would look a little better. Kicks Generation Toys. Hey, I sent you several emails. Please, I have not gotten any recent emails from you, but I'll look at my spam folder. Did I start? Yes, I did. 20 plus years ago. MCR, I did. A little more expensive than what was on Hasbro Pulse. I think maybe they got some damaged boxes or something to sell. I don't know. But yes, I did see that they had some vamps. Judge Dredd says the wheelie feature is cool. Judge Dredd says any movie with Predator in it, I will watch. Eric says that time of Alien versus insert property in Dark Curse comics was pretty great. Yeah, like Batman. I think Batman went up against aliens, or was it the Superman? I forget. Yeah, the head. I agree with you, Judge. Jeremy, having trouble finding the Mirage Comics Rat King from NECA. Isn't he supposed to be hitting Target? Uh, I don't know if he's hitting Target. I mean, those comic figures, I don't believe are Target exclusives. That may be where it's showing up first, but give it time, and I don't think you'll have a hard time getting it. Nice. Well, I also, TNI, Marvelous News. I started both those sites. All right, well, let's open up the Vamp. Take a quick look at that one as well. So, pretty cool artwork on the front. Size wise, it's basically going to be the same size as the Vamp. It's the same body. Oops. The box of extra accessories. It drops on the floor. A little instruction sheet. So, like with the original Vamp, your driver is just a repaint of the Cobra officer with white colors. He does have a helmet, I believe. So you get all these blast effects with the Vamp, which I'm probably not going to fool with today. Those are included, which we did not get. Or did I say Vamp? Included with the Stinger, but we did not get the blast effects with the Vamp Jeep. The Stinger itself. very sticky. There's the vamp. So, missiles. I think I got everything out of the box. All right, so go flip back over. All right. So some assembly required. So if you don't like these doors, you can take them off. I don't think the original Vamp had doors like that. I might be mistaken, but I don't remember. Let's just pop on the wheels real quick. Same kind of rubber as the Vamp wheels for those of you who have the Vamp. Same kind of construction with the shocks on the wheels, so nothing terribly different there. Pop in the wheels. Get that up and down Jeep type motion. And then this is for your missiles. Just pops on the back. Unfortunately, this doesn't look like it stays. Well, it stays maybe a little bit. Like one of the things I didn't like about the Vamp was the back gun pops off very easy. That actually looks like they've got it so it sticks on there better with the missile. So that's definitely good. And then of course you get the red missiles. Just plug in. Lift my camera up a little bit. Not sure. I might have this backwards. I think it goes that way. Oh, maybe I had it right the first time. No, for some reason, I'm just backwards. Ah. Yeah, well, especially when you get the missiles on there. So that's a little pain. You can elevate, the missiles, which is nice, and rotate, of course. But again, I think probably this thing going to end up falling off somewhat easily. I mean, it doesn't like fall off like it's just when you start playing with the missiles and stuff, it's gonna pop off fairly easily in your hand. So not a major deal, but And then again, they included some blast effects, so you can have like make your missiles look like they're firing, which is nice. We also get this back plate. So if you want to put a figure on the back to fire missiles, though that wouldn't really work in real life because they get hit with the exhaust. But it was always cool to like put a figure on the back to make it look like he's firing the missiles. It's got the tow hook. You get the tow cable on the front, like with the Vamp. So that's all pretty much the same as the Vamp. Again, same body. You can open up the hood. Same kind of engine. And then so weapons for your Cobra driver, including the helmet. And then you also, just like with the Vamp, get the fire extinguisher. Get the shovel. Some pieces to put on the hood. Yes. That's, I think, goes on the front. Okay, we'll get that later. Oh, and then you got if you want the top, you can either have it with the top and the doors, or you can have it without the top. I guess the Stinger did have the doors and the top, which kind of made it different from the Vamp that was open. Get the rear view mirrors. You turn the light on, so try and give you a good look inside. You get stickers with dashboard and everything, a steering wheel, turns. You get the clutch. So, again, pretty much the same like as with the Vamp. Give him his gun for his holster. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this one. I'm going to probably try and put it back where my hiss is, around near my hiss. But I still have to figure out a place to put this one. But overall, looks pretty cool. I give it a thumbs up. Let's see. That sure says somebody stole the wheels off the Vamp. Such a cool vehicle, Mr. Allmine. Dreadnoks, yeah, can never trust those Dreadnoks. All right, well, we're at the end of the hour, and pretty much all I had for you guys today. Slow, news bit. This whole month's been kind of slow for news, but that's to be expected. Having just come off from San Diego Comic-Con, and then things will pick up next month. We'll be going into Hasbro PulseCon, things like that. So definitely things should be picking back up next month. But and then don't forget, tomorrow for you Spawn fans, we got the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter launching. Thursday is the next Marvel Legend pre-order. Tomorrow also should be that Transformer Leo Convoy figure. Probably some other pre-orders this week that I am forgetting about, but I should be back on Wednesday. Probably will be a full news video on Wednesday live stream. But yeah. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in today. As always, much appreciated. Stay safe out there. Have a good rest of your day. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to ToyNewsEye.com, MarvelousNews.com, JediInsider.com, and TFormers.com. And remember, action figures are great,